Do you know what Vladimir means? Well, it means ruler of the world or a person of great power. It's a male Slavic given name widespread throughout all Slavic nations, basically Eurasian countries, but in different forms and spelling. Recently, two of the powerful Vladimirs came into the news headlines, as well as trending in all the social media due to their conflicts. Yes, you got it right, we're talking about Vladimir Putin and Vladimir Zelensky. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to look at one of the sensational Vladimir leaders of the conflict, and he is none other than the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky became a sensation on the internet since the beginning of the Russia-Ukraine wars, and thousands of girls dedicate love posts to him. They see him as a hero, a leader, a good family man. So, who is he? Let's figure out who is Mr. Zelensky. Well, Vladimir Zelensky is the present president of Ukraine. In the Ukrainian language, it's Vladimir Zelensky. His full name is Vladimir Alexandrovich Zelensky. He was born on the 25th of January in 1978 in Kryvyi Rih, USSR. Zelensky's parents are of Jewish origin. However, Zelensky told the Times of Israel in early 2020 that his family was typical of Soviet Jews. That meant, he said, they were not religious because religion didn't exist in the Soviet state as such. His father, Alexander Semenovich Zelensky, also known as Alexander Zelensky, is a Ukrainian mining scientist. He is a professor and the head of the Department of Cybernetics and Computing Hardware, Kryvyi Rih State University of Economics and Technology. His mother, Rima Zelenska, used to work as an engineer. His grandfather, Simon Zelensky, served in the Red Army to fight against the Nazis during World War II. Simon's father and three brothers were murdered in the Holocaust. Holocaust was the genocide of European Jews during World War II by Nazi Germany. More than 1 million Ukrainian Jews were massacred. His grandmother survived because she left Kryvyi Rih for Kazakhstan. Apparently, Zelensky lived 4 years in the Mongolian city of Erdenet, which is the second largest city in Mongolia, 240 kilometers northwest of Ulaanbaatar, because of work of his father, and he even learned Mongolian language. At the age of 16, he passed the test of English as a foreign language and received an education grant to study in Israel, but his father did not allow him to go. Then he obtained a degree in law from the Kyiv National Economic Society. His wife is Olena Kyashko. They have known each other since high school, and as they studied at the same school, Olena has a degree in architecture at the Facility of Civil Engineering at Kryvyi Rih National University. But she works in the entertainment sphere, too. She's the writer of the Carvital 95 studio. Their wedding took place in 2003. They are raising a daughter, Alexandra, and a son, Kyrilo. Vladimir Zelensky's entertainment sphere. Zelensky took first steps in performing while in middle school, just joining a theater group in the school's musical ensemble. During his studies, he studied as a dancer at Zambruzia Kryvyi Rih Transit Cabaret Group. In 1997, he and his friends founded their own cabaret, Carvital 95, in which he still performs today. 2 years later, this group was invited to perform on KVN's Premier League, a very popular cabaret program on Russian television, and began performing in many post-Soviet countries. During this time, Zelensky lived in Russia for 6 years. In 2003, after a conflict with the program's producers, he and his group returned to Ukraine full-time, where he continued his activity and began his career as a comic actor. After 2003, his group gained wide popularity through its appearances on the 1+1 TV channel owned by Koroshakovsky, who at the time had close ties with Viktor Yanukovych. Carvital's 95's formula for TV cabaret quickly became one of the most popular entertainment programs on the Ukrainian television. Zelensky gained great popularity for his performances and eventual victory in the Ukrainian version of Dancing with the Stars in 2006. At the same time, he expanded his business in the entertainment industry, and together with his friends from college, Boris and Shurhai Shefir, he founded the Studio Karvatal 95 Company, which has been responsible for the group's further productions, as well as satire programs, comedy films, musicals, and private cabaret performances. In 2010 to 2012, he was the main producer for Inter TV and hosted its entertainment programming. According to Ukrainian media, at the time, some of the shares in Studio Karvatal 95 were owned by Valery Koroshakovsky, who was both the owner of Inter and the head of Ukrainian Security Service from 2010 to 2012. Zelensky has worked with many producers and artists in Russia, regularly appearing on Russian television alongside Philippe Kirkorov, a star of the Russian stage. As a media and show business entrepreneur, the co-creator of cabaret programs and comedy films, he's achieved spectacular success, including financially. The entertainment programs and films produced by Studio Karvatal 95, which are recorded almost exclusively in Russian, are also very popular in Russia itself. It was their main market until 2014, and many other post-Soviet countries. In 2012, Studio Karvatal 95 Quarter seized its operation with Inter, apparently because they were pressured not to criticize the president, Yanukovych, and its productions returned to the 1+1 TV channel. In 2015, they aired the first season of the TV series Servant of the People. This series tells about a history teacher who suddenly became popular and then became the president of Ukraine. The series has become very popular for the entire former post-Soviet space. You may ask why? Well, because it perfectly showed the manipulations of the oligarchs to divide the peoples of their countries in order to preserve their own wealth. All of this was so clear to ordinary residents of the CIS. It was this series that ended Zelensky's acting and entertainment career. Zelensky never ever had imagined that this TV series was going to change his life entirely. In fact, no one probably imagined the same. This series became extremely popular, peak audience of 20 million TV viewers. It was recommissioned for a further 2 seasons, the last of which was just shown right before the first round of the presidential elections in March of 2019. So let's move to Zelensky's political career. It's obvious that Vladimir Zelensky has always been interested in politics, so he wanted to enter MGIMO or MGIMO University, the famous university of Russia where the diplomatic elite is trained, but then changed his decision. The beginning of his political and public life, like many, began with the Euromaidan 2014, which he actor supported. He also supported the Ukrainian soldiers who fought against the Donbass, which greatly complicated Zelensky's relations with Russia. If earlier he was a frequent guest and actively starred in Russia, then after that the Evening Quarter or Večerny Karaval or Evening Quarter show was canceled on Russian television. The films with the actor stopped being shot. Interestingly, while supporting the military operation in the Donbass against the separatists, in 2016 he managed to star in the continuation of the Russian film 8 Dates, which caused a lot of questions in the Russian society. People did not understand why a person who pays for an operation against pro-Russian residents of Donbass was being filmed in Russia. In 2017, one of the founders and heads of the Karvatal 95 or 95 Quarter studio, lawyer Ivan Bakanov, registered the political party Servant of the People. Zelensky became the de facto leader of the new political organization. In 2018, in an interview with famous Ukrainian journalist Dmitry Gordon, Zelensky already spoke about his desire to participate more actively in the political life of Ukraine. And on December 31st of 2018, Zelensky announced that he would participate in the presidential elections in Ukraine. Many perceived his words as another joke, but he proved not only by his word, but also by deed the seriousness of his intentions. Friends tried to dissuade him. Even his wife was against it at first. His campaign was based on an anti-war agenda and a peace settlement of the conflict between Ukraine and Donbass, which brought him the majority of Ukrainians' votes in beliefs that the conflict in Donbass would be settled peacefully. In the second round of elections, he wins 73.22% of the vote and becomes president. Despite the support of the pro-Western course of Ukraine, the Ukrainian army, and Euromade in 2013 to 2014, many Ukrainians consider Zelensky a pro-Russian candidate focused on bringing the country closer to the Russian Federation. Here's approximately a biography of the actor and leader of modern Ukraine, who has gained worldwide popularity in recent days. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.